Do you sometimes struggle to ask for help or accept help from others? Then stick with me here because this episode is for you. Hey there, it's Katie Joy, the Global Butterfly, founder of theglobalbutterfly.com and Awaken with Love and Rise with Pure Joy podcast. So today I want to share something with you that is so close to the hearts of so many of my clients, and it's something I have a conversation about a lot. So I want to share it with you. Excuse me. I'm not going to edit this. I'm going to keep it raw and real. So I really want to address this. It's a combined issue between asking for help and receiving help. Because if you're struggling with one, you're definitely struggling with the other. They're co-joined twins. So typically, what is the root cause of not asking for help? Like, why do you struggle with it? Well, there's a lot of programming that goes on underneath it. And usually, if you're struggling with asking for help, because you tend to think that, well, it's better if I do it myself. I may as well just do the job myself. I can't trust anyone else to do it. And it's rooted in this sense of being let down before in the past, or not being able to rely on someone else to be able to assist you and help you. And so there's this really kind of strong independence, but it's quite limiting and, dare I say, dysfunctional in allowing you to be able to move forward. So and if you are tied up with doing all the work for everybody else, you tend up having breeding this energy of resentment. It's seething. It might be passive, it might be well hidden under the good girl mask or the good boy mask, but it will tend to be there, and it won't an energy that is a low frequency, and it will siphon all the energy that you have that you could be using and creating. And so you'll be busy, but you'll be in the hustle and grind. You'll be in the bustle, in the push phase a lot. You'll get a lot of stuff done, but at a great cost to yourself, and even feeling quite separate from a lot of your relationships, even if you're really close, inverted commas, for those of you on audio only. But also, why is it that not only is it difficult to ask for help, but it's also equally difficult to say yes when people offer it? Well, again, it's rooted in that sense of feeling vulnerable or scared to be weak, or to be perceived as not good enough. So you'll do it all and show up with a big smile on your face and push on through. But here's the thing. Again, I've already mentioned that energetically, it drains the tank, so to speak, and you're not able to put all your quality energy into moving forward, in creating your best year yet, let alone your best life yet. So it's really, really important to connect and understand the key issue here is one, that when you ask for help or someone asks you for help, asking is allowed. And I'm going to pause here for a little effect, because what most people who work with me and go through this same issue with tend to feel like that if someone asks for help, that you have to say yes. Or when you ask for help, because you don't ask for it very often, and when you do ask, the underlying expectation is it's actually a demand. I'm expecting you to say yes to me, not requesting with, could you help me with this? It's, could you help me with this? And you're expecting a yes back. And if they don't get that, then you're going to feel upset about it. Now, it's same true with when people ask you, it feels like it energetically, it feels like you've got to say yes just because they asked. But here's the truth. People are allowed to ask, you're allowed to ask, and you're allowed to say no, as well as other people are allowed to say no. Because if you're approaching it with asking, but it's truly a demand, then that's not going to go, move you forward very well. But when you actually ask with a sense of letting go, with a appreciation that someone might not have the right timing, or it might not be the right vision or values for them, it just might not be even convenient, it's okay. So you got to be able to be willing to say yes or no, with it being a request and not a demand. So let me give you a little tip on how to move forward with this, particularly around when someone asks you. could you help them? But maybe you're busy and maybe you're like, oh God, yes. But then like you think, why did I say that? Because I've got so many things on already. And maybe you do love the person or you want to help the person, but now you're just feeling even more overwhelmed and burdened. Well, here's the truth. You can say no. And it can be polite. So it doesn't have to be rude. It can be something as simple as someone rings you and they start talking and you've made I call it a mistake answering the phone with an interruption with unless it's someone who's on my emergency list. But I don't just answer the phone. But if you did just answer the phone and a friend's having a great old yak with you and they start talking to you, or it's a colleague, or it's somebody who's got something that they want to share with you and then they ask you, or like, even, hey, have you got the time to have a conversation right now? You can simply say, hey, listen, I'm right in the middle of something. I'm going to finish this project, but I'm free after 5 or I'm free in an hour. Can I, I'll call you back then. Is that convenient? And so now you've put some boundaries around it, but you've still been honoring and you still help them understand that you're not rejecting them. You're just not available for them right now in this moment. Now, what about perhaps a bigger request? Hey, can you help me move house? Or could you, come over for dinner? Here's another one, because I want to address this one, because I my own little irk is when someone says maybe. Maybe it's not a commitment. And even worse, don't say yes if you know you're going to cancel, because that's just not honoring someone else's time or energy. But let's say you say, oh, that sounds, yes, but you know that it's not a really good time for you. Just simply say, hey, that sounds like such a great opportunity. I'd love to do that and catch up for a meal. I'm not available this Saturday, but I am in 2 weeks. Could we make it for then? It would be really wonderful to see you. It's this sense of, it starts with the permission for yourself to say no. And when you know that you come from that principle, you're able to communicate and come up with the script that is going to communicate effectively and kindly so that someone knows. Now, what about when there's times when people ask you for things and, no is a full sentence? That's true too. You got a salesman knocking on your door and they start selling to you and you're like, no, I'm not interested. Thank you. Shut the door. You don't have to explain it. Now, I don't think you have to be completely rude either with family or friends or someone that you might know of and just be no. You don't have to be that direct and rude. And that's a lot of the struggle that people have sometimes behind putting down a boundary and saying no. Simply just say, no, thank you, or no, that doesn't really align with where I'm at right now, or I simply am above the eyebrows, busy at the moment with my other projects. I'm not available to look at that, but I am interested. So I'd love for you to, come back to me in another couple of weeks and I'd love to have a look at that. It's just speaking kindly, but it starts with giving yourself permission that you can say no. And so has this been valuable for you? Do you struggle with saying no to people? Do you struggle with asking for help? Do you struggle with receiving help? This one I want to finish with. So if someone offers you help, they've got some beautiful awareness that you could do with some help. And maybe you actually offer a lot of help like my clients do, but then sort of don't allow other people to help you back. And so you block that receivership. Well, here's the thing. Do you experience a lot of joy when you help other people? I bet you do. So when you block someone else from having that gift to help you, you're taking away that joy from them. You're refusing for them to have that experience. So remember to give them that gift too and allow them to help as well. And just simply receive it with, hey, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That would be really helpful if you could help me out in the next 2 hours, or you could do that thing, or and just say thank you and just practice receiving. By the way, most of my audience are women, and so part of the feminine energy is in receiving. So allow yourself to receive. You don't have to always be giving. In fact, if you're giving at the cost of receiving for yourself and you burn out, it's not exactly the best position to be in. and it's definitely not going to help you create your best year yet, let alone your best life. Now, a lot of this is all anchored in knowing what your vision, your values, and your goals are. And that's really important. So then you know what to say yes to and know what to say no to. You know what to ask for help, and you know what to say yes when being offered help so that you can receive that too. So again, has this been valuable for you? I hope so. And I pray that these insights help you move forward with some consideration about saying yes to somebody else's offer to help you. And next time that you have something that you could delegate or ask for help for, go ahead and ask away. But do it being willing to let go of the expectation of them having to do it. If they can't, just be grateful and ask away again in the future, or ask somebody else. It's as simple as that. Take care. With love, light, and manifesting miracles, magic, and more, from my heart to yours, Katie Joy.